Hey everybody. I've been asked fairly regularly who makes my favorite plugins or who do I recommend buying plugins from. So I wanted to do a quick video of the tools that get used on every session or almost every session. First off, I have to start with Hindenburg. That's my DAW of choice. As a 20-year user of Logic, I learned pretty quickly when I started editing that Logic was not going to be the answer for me when it came to editing dialogue. The workflow just did not work for me. So this led me down a path of trying different DAWs over the course of 3 to 4 months. I tried Audition. That seemed like a foreign language to me. I tried to look at Audacity, but I just couldn't. I wanted a modern DAW that had standard features like, I don't know, non-destructive editing. And I know that's been added recently, but why did it take so long to add a feature that every other DAW has had for decades now? And I guess that kind of answers the question, because Audacity really isn't a DAW, it's more of an audio editor. It has a lot more in common with Cool Edit from the late 90s than it does with Logic or Hindenburg or Studio One, Reaper. There's just a lot of differences there, and Audacity didn't offer what I was looking for. So then I tried Universal Audio's Luna, which I love a lot of what it brings to the table, but being version 1, it's still a little rough around the edges and was missing a couple features that would have made things perfect. That kind of brought me back to Hindenburg, which was, I think, the first one I tried, but I moved away from it really quickly because even though I loved the workflow, I just couldn't get on with the way they display the waveforms. I've come to grow and love the way they display the waveforms now, but it actually took a second trial of Hindenburg and making me force myself to use it to really appreciate everything that it brought to the table. Another product I use on everything is Isotope RX. If you're editing for clients, I feel RX is a mandatory tool. It has a bit of a learning curve, but once you understand how to use it and have some good starter presets, you can clean up a lot of common audio problems pretty quickly. And mouth declick alone, I think, justifies the price of standard. And if you do have RX or you're intimidated by it, I do have a course that is almost like a video manual on how to use RX to clean up problem audio for podcast editors. You'll find the link below. Now we'll get into the plugins that I use. I've been using Universal Audio plugins and their interfaces for about 15 years now. I love their plugins. I love the interfaces. I love being able to record with the plugins and not have to do much work on my audio in post. So that's one of the big things using their interfaces bring to the table. Every episode I have goes through their Fairchild 670 compressor and usually the Ampex ATR 102 tape deck. And lately, I've been using the API 2500 bus compressor on my main outputs. I also love their 1176 and LA2A compressors for dialogue. A newer plugin group that I've brought into my chain over the last 3 or 4 months has been Sonible. Their smart plugins have really sped up my process, and especially when I have something with tight turnaround times, they've really become indispensable. The Smart Comp has become my go-to compressor for dialogue compression, and this is because it just provides good settings right out of the gate. And speaking of gates, their new Smart Gate is incredible, and it's by far the best gate I've ever tried when talking about dialogue gating. FabFilter, these are the tools I use whenever I'm teaching. They have such a great user interface and make it easy for you to see and hear everything that you're doing. Their Pro Q3 is my go-to EQ, especially if Sonible's Smart EQ isn't giving me the results that I want, and I need to go in and do manual EQ. It's going to be the Pro Q3. And the Pro DS is the only de-esser that I use. It just makes it so simple to dial things in and get good, solid de-essing. It's just a great de-esser. Another one that is on every track, every bus, everything I do it's not a fun plugin, it doesn't really do anything, but it's the Julian loudness meter. It's a free loudness meter, and it offers you everything you need to know to make sure that your levels are where you want them to be, that your dynamics are where you want them to be. I can't recommend this more highly for a loudness meter. And that brings me to the last one on this list, and that's Plugin Alliance. To me, even though I don't use their plugins that often for podcast editing, I do use them quite a bit for making music. And they're the company that I recommend for those looking for affordable but good sounding plugins. They don't have a vocal writer plugin, but they have anything else you might need. And in my opinion, Plugin Alliance's plugins they're better all around than Waves. Waves plugins most of them are very dated. They haven't really been updated over the years other than maybe some GUI type updates. But under the hood, there really haven't been any changes in 10-15 years to those plugins. And speaking of kind of updates, unlike Waves, Plugin Alliance, they don't have paid upgrades. You buy the plugin, and updates are included for free for the lifetime of the plugin. And like Waves, their plugins are often found on sale for $29. So do not pay full price for these plugins, but they are a very good alternative to Waves. They're a good alternative to FabFilter. They're just good sounding, affordable plugins. A few recommendations I can make are, if you're looking for an all-in-one, all-around versatile tool, is the BX Console Focusrite. This is a channel strip that gives you pretty much anything you would need. The Kirchhoff EQ is a very good EQ, and similar to FabFilter in the way that it has about all of the same functionality as the Pro Q3. And one plugin that I haven't used, but Tom Kelly raves about it, so that's good enough for me, and that's the SPL De-esser collection. He said it's one of the best de-essers he's used. Like I said, I can't vouch for it, but if Tom Kelly likes it, it's going to be a very solid tool. So these are the tools and the plugins that I use. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.